What's up guys, this is Pete with AimSurplus, and I was lucky enough to be able to shoot Carry Optics Nationals this past weekend. This is my 4th season shooting USPSA. I was able to gain the rank of Master Class about 2.5 years ago in Carry Optics division, and this was the first time I've been able to shoot Nationals because it was just right up in Columbus, 2 hours away, so it was super convenient. So I got into the match kind of last minute on Tuesday before the match started on Friday. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. I have shot a couple major matches earlier this year, such as the Ohio State Championship, the Kentucky State Championship, and a low capacity match that I've shot, a different division in earlier this year. So it was really nice to be able to go up just right to Columbus and shoot this Nationals competition with some of the best shooters in the country. It was a really awesome experience to be able to get up there. So with that all being said, I didn't quite perform how I wanted to. I ended up 101st out of 481 competitors, so not the best. I didn't shoot great. I had a lot of issues with steel targets, which is weird because usually I don't. But I did have a couple good stages mixed in there, especially on the 3rd day of shooting on Sunday morning. It wasn't too rainy or too gross out like it was on Friday, unfortunately. So on Friday morning, it was rainy and gross out. There was ankle deep water in about half the shooting areas on the first 7 stages that I shot that day, which obviously doesn't make things very fun, but I still had a great time. My squad was great. So I was lucky enough to be able to watch some of the super squad shoot, which are the top guys, the JJ Ricazes, Christian Salyers, Nils, Jay Beal. I got to watch on a stage. That was really neat to see. People like Max Michel and Shane Coley were also really cool to watch. So my best stage of the day I shot on Sunday morning, and it was stage 16, and we're gonna play it for you guys. And I'm gonna go over a little bit how I shot it. So for this stage, right off the bat, on the beep, I ran all the way over to the left. I engaged an open paper target as I was settling into position to get stable for the 2 steel popper targets that were set up, one in front of the other. So I engaged the front one, had to wait for that to fall, engaged the second one, transitioned right over to my right to shoot a hardcover partial target. Then I engaged 2 open targets, one close, one far. I performed 1 or 2 step reload as I was moving into the middle of the stage. I engaged 2 steel popper targets and the paper in the middle, and then a paper on the left side. Then I transitioned back over to my right, shot 2 more open targets and a partial no-shoot target. Then I booked it all the way over to the right side of the stage. There was a hardcover target that only left the head box available. Shot that twice. Then I transitioned over to my left and shot a tuxedo target through a port, and I ended up putting 3 rounds in the A zone on that guy, just because I've been struggling with shot calling a little bit recently, struggled with it all match, honestly, and thought I might need an extra shot. Didn't end up needing it, probably cost me, 0.3, 0.4 seconds, which doesn't sound like much, but in the grand scheme of things, that probably knocked me back 4 or 5 spots. So I ended up finishing 20th overall out of 481 shooters on this stage with 22 alphas, 4 C-zone hits, a time of 17.86 seconds, which all comes together for a hit factor of 6.8309. So this was just one stage out of a whole 21 stage match. Like I said, it was my best. I did not perform like I wanted to. I appreciate you guys sticking around and following my journey. It's an honor to be able to shoot for AimSurplus and my other sponsors. So thank you. I do get a ton of questions about what gear I run in competition, so I will go over that now. Now keep in mind, this works for me. It is not necessarily the end-all be-all setup for everybody. You might position your things, your holsters and your mag carriers differently. This just works for me. So first I'll go over my belt. This is from Shooter's Connection. As you can see, it is very rigid. It's not gonna flex on you when you try and draw aggressively or grab a magazine or anything. It is a 2-piece belt. Inner belt is also sturdy with loop Velcro. Outer belt is also sturdy with hook Velcro to keep it secure to your body. So starting off, this is called a belt keeper. It essentially, when I put this around my waist, you can cinch it down over the end of the belt so it doesn't pop off. Super helpful. You never want your belt to fall off. That's going to be a huge problem. Going around the back of the belt, I have a T-Rex Arms tourniquet carrier with a Cat T tourniquet. Obviously you want to keep some medical gear on you whenever you're around firearms. I haven't seen any incidents at matches yet, but better safe than sorry. Moving on to the holster, I use a Henry Holsters hanger. This keeps everything very rigid and doesn't allow the holster to come up at all when I draw. So the holster is a T-Rex Arms Ragnarok for, I guess I don't need to say what gun it's for, I'm gonna say it. So the holster is a T-Rex Arms Ragnarok. I've been using this for 3 years now, I believe, and it's been great. You know, gun comes up very smoothly. There's no like active retention just besides the Kydex on it. Yeah, this holster's been great for me. Moving on to my mag carriers, I have 3 Double Alpha Academy mag carriers. They are positioned slanted a little bit to allow for a little bit easier purchase and draw of the magazines. This here on the front of the first mag carrier is a magnet. So sometimes you'll have unloaded starts or starts where you have to have your magazines on a table and you can't have them in your mag carriers. This is just quite a bit faster to slap a mag on there. It's not gonna move. If I need to grab it off there, obviously it's a little more stable when it's on me. If I need to grab it on there, I can, you know, pull it off pretty simply. But like I said, these mag carriers are very fast, very smooth. You can adjust them and use different inserts for different brand magazines and whatever gun you might be running. I typically position this mag carrier right under my belly button, which makes it pretty similar to my appendix setup where I'm, you know, carrying concealed. So it's, you know, magazine's gonna be right here where it would be in my concealed holster. So, you know, it's very fast just to, you know, draw the magazine, bring it straight up into the mag well. Going on to magazines, obviously it is a Smith & Wesson magazine that fits the gun that I shoot. I use a Taylor Freelance brass base plate. This adds a few ounces on, I don't remember exactly how heavy it is, but a few ounces onto the end of the magazine, you know, helps soak up a little bit of recoil. Obviously makes sure they drop free a little bit better than, you know, just a standard plastic or standard metal one. These things have been great, I love them. Moving on to my gun, I shoot a Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. This is a 4 1/4 inch, all fancied up by one of my sponsors, Monsoon Tactical. So I have, you know, obviously it's not super clean. I got a whole bunch of grip chalk on it, but this is his cherry blossom texturing. Super aggressive, doesn't allow the gun to slide around in your hand very much while you have a good grip. Honestly, the first couple weeks that I had it, it was hurting my hands because of how aggressive it is, but now I got used to it. I had him cut it for a Trijicon SRO. I used the 2.5 MOA model. Ton of guys like bigger dots, ton of guys like smaller dots. You know, that's all personal preference. I'm not gonna tell you what kind of dot to run. I also had him add slide serrations on there and do this awesome purple Cerakote. I believe he called it Black Cherry, which is awesome. So I'm running an Apex Gunsmith Fit barrel and an Apex trigger. Now this barrel is more accurate than the stock one. That being said, do most people need a new barrel? No. I just got one because it was convenient. And the Apex trigger, which allows for a nice crisp trigger pull and a great reset. This one is set to somewhere around 3 pounds. And then I have a Streamlight TLR1 on the front of the gun. Do I need this for competition? No, but I already had a holster for a TLR1, so I kept it on the gun anyway. So I talked about the grip chalk all over the grip. A lot of people use some sort of grip enhancement liquid. This is the one that I choose. It is Petzl Power Liquid. It's just liquid chalk, used mostly for rock climbing, but this works very well. It's relatively cheap. I haven't had any issues with the Petzl. So that's about it for the gear that I use. If you have any questions about anything, you can drop a comment below. We'll get to you and answer it. I just want to say thank you again for supporting us and supporting me and for sticking around and watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to our social media, and we'll see you guys next time.